All meetings September 23rd order. You got it. Stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, gentlemen, I look for approval to approve today's agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from September 16th.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meetings attended, Scott?
Just had the conservation meeting yesterday that we all attended, and I did contact Farm Service this morning to see what their plans were on the bullet, and they thought maybe first couple weeks of October. And that was basically it.
I had community action meeting last week. In Burlington. A Zoom meeting with. Eastern Iowa Port, and that was both just pretty much regular business. There wasn't a lot of.
Last Tuesday evening, Mount Pleasant had an early childhood development meeting. They had some people there talking about their programs, pretty much business as usual. And of course, yesterday we were with conservation. We are getting with the help of Brandon and community service person, we're getting the LP tank painted. They only had 2 gallons of paint. I don't know how much he got done yesterday.
He didn't, he
Okay,
worked on other, but he,
that's fine.
out there right now.
No problem. Elevator's getting me 5 more gallons. We'll see how far the 2 gallons takes us. And,
Okay.
He got his scraper okay.
Yep, and ladder.
Awesome.
all we need.
Almost done. So,
He only had.
LP tank
Yeah,
should be
yeah.
painted here today.
Farm.
Morning.
Morning.
That's where you were gonna be.
Be all mic'd up.
I don't know. Item number 5, any public input?
Last week, Jacob gave a report on the Conservation Department. I think that he should be recognized of what a great job he's been doing, and he knows how to handle money, and I think you guys should do that too and recognize him. So, thank you, Jacob.
We're way ahead of you, we know that already.
But you did recognize him publicly.
Okay. One change that we have made inside the room that you're not obviously aware of. We have a podium here now, so if anybody wants to address the board, we'd ask you to go to the podium. We were having problems with, it being recorded, and they can hear our response on the video, but they can't hear the question, or the public, so we do have a new podium, and we'd ask for you to use that if you would, please.
State your name.
Yeah, and Susan wants you to state your name and address, because they can't see you. So that means you too. Yeah,
So you need to go to the podium?
probably.
We've had the trial period for the driver's license over at the courthouse. It's coming up on our time frame that we're looking at. I've talked to a couple of people recently that maybe it's not going as smooth. Have we got any updates of where that's going or?
Have any updates? We can ask the question though.
I visited with Beth last week one day about it, and it sounds like the state has not followed through at all on any of their promises, other than they did get the online scheduling, but as far as help on language flyers, like they said, nothing. And she also informed me that they're coming out with a new system in a year or two, and that they told them that they were not offering any more training until that system comes out. And she sat here and told us how they would provide
Yep.
training.
Yeah.
So I don't know, doesn't sound like they're following through at all.
The input I got with the scheduling system the state put them on takes more time than when the way they were scheduling it before, so.
Of course.
Sounds like government to me.
I know a person that called here in September to get a schedule, to get scheduled in October, and they told her no, but October was full, and she couldn't call back and get on November till the month of October came. So, I mean, that doesn't sound
Yeah,
very promising.
we'll have to have a meeting and discuss with them what's going on. And see whether it
Have
can
them come
be.
here and give them a
Yeah.
report or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can ask them to do that next week. Well, we won't have one next week, next Tuesday. It'll be the following one in October.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Anybody else? We had some payroll changes. We got a new dispatcher. There you go. New dispatcher, and then Adam, I think, has one for length of service. And then we have the new hire at the conservation. Adam, you're next on the list.
Okay, if I just stand at the podium or can I just sit?
Those are the rules.
It's right.
This will go faster.
Adam Shutt, our Residence County Engineers Office.
Thank you.
How's it going? How's it going, everybody? Progress in construction has resumed up on G28 and X14. Yesterday, I posted a video of the crack and seat operation. Basically, they bring a big hammer and drop it on the concrete and puts a bunch of hairline cracks in it so that when the asphalt is placed over, all of the old joints don't come up. It spreads out the stress in the on underlying pavement, I guess. So doing that, finishing that operation up today. Manance is supposed to be here Thursday or Friday to begin paving again. So hopefully I think first day will be a little slow as they're doing some patching things and things like that, and then probably start paving Saturday through next couple weeks or so. So hopefully, it's second week of October, it'll all be done. That'll be good. We did pay for some dust control up there on the bypass route, because we had a really busy and dry couple weeks, which was funny. I put down the dust control and then it rains. So speaking of that, we are supposed to begin paving up on 92 this week, I believe is a plan. So again, we can see if that happens.
How's that schedule running right now?
Well, slower than what it originally was, but
Right.
they're saying mid to end of October, so that's good. It'd be nice if we get that X17 interchange open so we can get some traffic across there. We were still up there patching on X17, so just doing some repairs up there. Other than that, we're always mowing and blading and fixing things as needed. What's going on? Not a lot else going on, I guess. So we're working on the designs for some upcoming projects. I think I told you last week I met with the DOT to talk about drainage from west of town, and that's all taken care of, I believe. So I'm sure you guys have seen, but there is a DOT meeting next Wednesday. And that is for it's a public meeting before they start to approach people about buying right away. So my understanding is right away will be end of this year through next year, with the goal of beginning construction in 2027.
So we'll have drawings back out on the tables again and
Yep.
big presentation
Yep.
and whatnot.
Yep. So that will probably spur us, whether it's Wise County or Wapello, to do some work on that 5 mile lane. So kind of waiting to see what things will looking like, but we'll have to do a project out there at some point. We obviously have some safety issues out there that I would like to get taken care of, so.
I had a safety issue yesterday with one of their trucks.
Yeah,
On their
yeah.
private property, so.
So. Anyway, any questions for me out there? Anything going on?
Your Avenue looks really good.
Which was due?
Uh,
What
South,
do we do?
G62, New Rock and Blading.
Okay,
That's great.
Very
I just took it, it was out of Virginia Grove.
thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so. Always rocking and always blading. I did talk to the quarry folks. And they've got 35,000 to 40,000 tons available at the quarry for now. And that's gonna be about what our rest of the fall through the spring is. So if they run out, they'll probably have to truck it down from Iowa City. We do have some other options at other quarries too, that once we get closer, we'll have to make some decisions on what we do. So every year we haul about 70 to 72,000 tons. 10 or 12 that comes from the Stafford quarry, which is the old and Nelson quarry, and the rest of it is out of here. So if they're unable to produce, we'll have to figure something out.
Did you just buy that from all that?
I tried to, but they
So
do not do that. So I tried to, but so. And anyway, he said the CEO, vice president, whatever he is, he said that they would probably know more in a month. So I said, well, I will be calling you up in a month here. So because there's quite a bit of pumping that then needs to be done and permitting and all that to get that plant back open. But they do intend to keep operating a plant there. So
It's not gonna be very cost effective for them to be trucking rock down to a quarry.
did say that the rock coming out of Iowa City is a little bit easier to get because it's an open pit mine, and there's less rules and easier to do that. But yeah, on trucking,
Yeah.
and that adds up as well. So
Yeah.
If that quarry were to not exist anymore, it would definitely change our operations a bit. So it's kind of
you had mentioned that you would be an hour north of Let's to haul rock. Where would you get the rock for that?
from the Wendling quarry up there at Moscow, I think it isn't an hour, but it's 38 minutes. But by the time you come down and drop it, go back, that's an hour. So that would be a issue. May have to invest in some different equipment if that were to happen. So I guess we'll cross that bridge if it happens to get here then. So. All right, I guess.
Thank
you.
Yep. Leah's not here, so we'll skip over her. Oh, she's in? Oh, okay. She's filming. She's busy. You actually is.
Hello.
Welcome.
So a couple weeks ago at the Board of Health meeting, we things were pretty much as usual. We do have the vehicle that we purchased on our property. We are using it now, so that is doing well. We updated our water program policy and procedure on the environmental health side of things. That was just the last time it had been done was in 2016, so it needed some language revision. Iowa Department of Public Health is no longer named by that. It's now Iowa HHS. So that was changed. And the grant for that program used to be grants to counties, and now it's private well. So that was updated. That was about all that needed to be updated in that. And then we also did approve to reapply for the Community Foundation grant. And that's for our Healthy People, Healthy Communities program. It's just a continuation of that program that we applied for. And then I did get a 99 Counties project community forum scheduled for November 10th. And that'll be at the ambulance barn. And that's a cancer project. They're trying to bring awareness and to all counties in Iowa due to cancer rates that are in Iowa. So, like I said, that's in November. There'll be more information coming out on that later. Other than that, it's flu shot season, so we're busy scheduling flu shots. We do have them in. We are giving them right now. Pretty much got all of our usual businesses that we go to. Those are all on our schedule now in October. So that's pretty much what we're doing.
Did you get new tires put on the other car yet?
I have called to get them ordered, but they're not on yet.
Okay,
But we're working on it.
all right. Great. Anything for Leah?
No,
Okay,
Thanks, Leah.
enjoy your day.
You too.
Item number 9 is Julie Davidson. I think she's zooming in. She is here to talk about our resolution. Yeah, it's an agreement with the Eastern Iowa Disability Alliance. There she is. Hi, Julie.
Hi, sorry, I was trying to unmute. I think I finally figured it out.
We got the resolution in front of us. You have the floor. Go ahead and fill us in on what's going on.
Okay, so I'm going to see if I can share. I have just a short PowerPoint. I also have Lucia Herman on, and I thought Raja Taylor was joining, but I don't see her. So let me see if I can. Oh, says I can't share. I can just talk through what I have. Okay, so I am the interim CEO. I'm the Chief Operating Officer and interim CEO for the Eastern Iowa Disability Alliance. We were previously Mental Health and Disability Services of the East Central region. We were appointed as the disability access point for District 7, and Louisa County is part of District 7. So just wanted to give you a quick oversight of what the disability access point does, and then talk about the 28E and the invitation from the ECR board to all counties to see if you are interested in being a member. So if I can get my PowerPoint to work here. District 7 is comprised of it's more I'm not sure if you've seen the map, but it's kind of the southeast part of the state. It goes from as far north as Black Hawk, Buchanan, and then down. The lowest that we go is down to Des Moines. And we have divided our district because it's a large population. We've divided our district into what we call 4 hubs. Your hub is based out of Johnson County. And so the disability services navigators, who are the ones with boots on the ground, are based out of those hubs. We have a individual who is serving Louisa County, who actually lives in York County. So she, even though her hub is Johnson County, she spends the majority of her time in the lower, in Muscatine, Louisa, and Des Moines counties. And she said she knows one of you. I'm not sure which. It's Raja Taylor. I see a head nodding. Yes. So the disability access points are agencies designated by HHS to serve as the primary access point for people with disabilities and their caregivers. There's also with the reorganization, there are the Administrative Service Organization, which is doing mental health and substance use disorders, any addiction disorders. So we are tasked with serving anybody with a disability. That could include somebody with a mental illness. It also could be somebody with an intellectual disability, a physical disability, or a developmental disability. Anybody who has needs related to their disability. The population that we are serving is typically those who do not yet have Medicaid. So our goal is to get out, find individuals who are in need of some assistance, get them hooked up with Medicaid or any other funding source, and then pass them off to a Medicaid case manager if that's possible. We are part of the ADRC network, which it used to be just AAA was the ADRC network. So the ADRC now is comprised of the Area Agency on Aging's and the Disability Access Points. Our navigators, which are kind of like social workers, I'm not sure how your region was organized before, or even did you have county case management back in the day? I'm not sure if you guys had case managers.
We're not,
Maybe
yeah,
you might have had
yeah, limited, I think.
HHS case managers. So our navigators have three primary roles: information and assistance, which is very short term, helping people get connected with whatever they need to meet the need at that time. And then they have options counseling, which is a little bit longer. They meet with individuals, discuss what their needs are, what services might help meet their needs, and then hook them up with that service and funding. And the final one that they do is coordination of long-term services and supports, and that would be for individuals who are in need of ongoing supports. That is what we do the least of because Medicaid pays most of that. And so our role is to assist anybody who has a disability and has needs, or a caregiver, anybody who is caregiving. So there are some very large differences between regions and disability access points. And I think this is important for understanding the role of the governing board, which is why I go over it. So the regions were responsible for oversight of the mental health and disability system. The disability access points, or we call them the DAP, is not responsible for oversight. HHS, Health and Human Services, is now overseeing the disability system. And the disability access point has a small part in that system, and our part is service coordination. So we do not have the ability to set our own management plan and determine what services we will pay for. The state has given us operational guidance, and that tells us what services will be paid for. Counties were required to organize into regions by a 28E. With the disability access point, any entity could bid on it, any nonprofit. So a provider like Goodwill could have bid to be the disability access point. So a 28E is not required. We are still a 28E entity because that's how we're organized. That's how we came together as an entity. The funding is very different. With regions, the money came to the region based on a per capita, and the region distributed those funds according to the management plan. Now, the majority of our funds are strictly for staff. HHS is paying most of the services. We have a very little amount of money for some short-term services and supports, and a few unique programs that were provided by regions and are continuing through December. So, and the last thing is that regions provided services for individuals in the counties who were part of the 28E. Now, we will provide services for every individual in our district, whether the county is part of a member of the 28E or not. And so that's a big distinction, is that counties do not have to be members of the 28E. Of course, we would like the county input, but we want you to know that it's not required for your constituents to receive services. So our first 3 months, we have done a lot of hiring. We have done lots and lots of meetings. Our transition plan had 130 tasks that had to be completed. We're about halfway there. So we are now in the future, we are looking toward getting out in the community more, hitting all of those places where individuals live, switching over to the 28E, and we are looking at having a single employer. All of our staff now we're hired by a county in the region, because counties are no longer required to be part of the disability access point. Our counties wanted us to kind of work toward a single employer. and not have staff remain as county employees. It also is a lot easier to manage an entity if you don't have staff working out of multiple counties. As far as oversight, it's hard when you've got staff who are overseen by their county board of supervisors and there's not a clear accountability. So I'm wrapping up here the 28E discussion. The impact of the House file is that regions were entered. The 28E is no longer synonymous with the region. The 28E is just how we are organized as an entity. And our governing board chose to maintain the 28E as an entity and to contract with HHS for disability access point services. Our 2080 entity could choose to contract for other services down the road. Sometimes, we'll see things get sent out that people are invited to bid on a contract. Our 2080 could do that because we are just an entity now. We are not a DAP entity. And I already said services do not differ based upon your decision on whether to become a member. And interested counties, you said you have your resolution, either to submit a resolution or board meeting minutes showing a vote to become a member of the 2080. Our current board, because of the difference in the governing board will oversee the entity, not necessarily the disability access point services. HHS is overseeing us as a DAP. The governing board will oversee the 2080 entity. And because of the change in that governing, our current governing board anticipates probably quarterly meetings. We met monthly as a region because there was a lot more oversight by the governing board. And so just so you know what the requirements, the governing board would have from every member county, there would be a board member appointed, and then 1 to 2 individuals from our advisory council, and that would be the governing board. It's not required in code to have a governing board for the DAP, so there are no guidelines like there were with the region where there had to be a law enforcement and education person. So our governing board chose to do strictly county boards of supervisors, and then 1 to 2 individuals from the advisory board would make up that board composition. So I'll quit talking. Lucia, sorry, I didn't introduce Lucia. She is hiding there. She is the program manager of the southern counties. So she is overseeing all of the, she's in a cornfield, overseeing all of the navigators that are in our southern half of our district. I know I talk fast, and so I would like to open it up if you guys have any questions about the disability access point or the 2080 or anything.
I have some questions.
Yes.
The first question is, how are individuals in need identified? And how do they get within that network?
How are they identified?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so what we are doing, and our first, up to this point, because of reorganizing and because of hiring staff, we have not gotten out into the community as much. We are, Raja is out a lot, but what we are doing is getting out to the places where people might be. So that would be going to schools, going to food pantries, food banks, libraries, anywhere that we might encounter individuals. It's working with providers. We will be sending information out to doctors' offices, all of the places in the community where where somebody might know about an individual that could use our assistance. And that's where we feel that you guys may know some ideas for us too, to give us guidance on, oh, there's a meal site on this day that a lot of people come to, and maybe they would have needs and we could hand out brochures. If there are community events, we will try to get to those and hand out. We have flyers to hand out also.
So Raja is our point of contact locally.
Yes.
So the other question I have is, for instance, if we happen to have and the disability part is pretty easy to identify. If you have a mental health case, let's say that the sheriff's department is dealing with someone that has that potential problem, would they contact Raja, or does that go through a different
Right.
Yeah.
So that's one big thing that has changed with the region. We had oversight of all of it. And so any of the commitment things, all of that was done through region. That is now done through Iowa PCA. So primary care associates, they have that component. There's really no wrong door. I mean, if the sheriff feels that individual could use services, we could certainly become involved. We are not a crisis service, but Raja could assist with hooking up anything longer term. The ASO would be more appropriate for a crisis type service if that individual maybe needed to be evaluated immediately, go to a crisis bed. That would be more the ASO side. And I will send you what I had for the PowerPoint and the contact information. I'll also send you the contact information for IOPCA, who is more responsible for doing mental health component. They are supposed to be working with jails and sheriff's departments. So if your sheriff has not had that contact, I think that would be a good entity to reach out to because they also have navigators in every district. And those navigators are responsible for assisting with the crisis and short-term mental health needs of individuals.
I certainly don't know the sheriff's business, but I can see them perhaps seeing a certain individual habitually and
Yes.
seeing a degradation at a point that maybe they think that they need to contact somebody and
Somebody, yes.
provide help, so.
And honestly, we do some of our jails, if you have somebody in jail that the jail staff or the sheriff feel could use some services when they leave the jail, we have gotten involved in that in many of the counties.
Okay.
The ASO is responsible for serving the jails, but we are also happy to serve if the individual probably needs something more than outpatient mental health, the ASO may pass them over to us.
Okay.
We also could be that first contact if the jail feels that the person could use something more.
Right. And also, for the board's, information, I looked through this resolution. There is no money coming
No.
from the county. It's all being funded through the state or
Yes.
Medicare, Medicaid, right?
Yes, it is all funded through state dollars.
Okay.
There is actually no financial component at all for the boards. The counties, no financial responsibility in any way. It's more just giving us guidance, the oversight. As a 2080, we're still required to have a governing board, and we still value the input from the counties because, you know, we do have a large district and we do have people that are getting out in those counties, but you sometimes see things that maybe we don't. And so having that relationship is important. But there is absolutely no financial risk. The allocation that comes to us, it used to be a per capita amount with the regions. And I never know how other regions operated, how in depth your knowledge was of the regions. I know some of the regions operated more as counties. I'm not sure about your region, but the money came to the regions based on per capita amount. And now that is not the case. Our budget is basically our staff costs and then some short-term services and supports. The rest of it's all paid by the state. And so even the financial part of it is very different.
So do we need to also, within the county, assign someone to your board?
Yes, if you are if you sign that resolution, then we would ask that your county have one of your board members assigned like you would for any other committee. And you can have a backup person if you want. And then our governing board will be strictly one individual from every county one supervisor. And it can be a supervisor or your designee. I mean, if you have somebody that you would rather appoint, that works too.
And the meetings are generally every monthly?
I would say through the end of the year, we might meet a little more frequently, but then the board Our governing board felt that quarterly would be the appropriate, so it would just be once every 3 months.
Where would those meetings be held?
Once we know, we always will offer a virtual. Um, we do Teams normally because we have that, we already have that for free. Instead of buying a Zoom, we do a Teams.
Okay.
And we will determine the location of the meetings based upon the counties that sign on. So we want to find something that's more centralized. We had, our first meetings that we had were in Johnson County. But if we have, it just depends on the counties that sign the resolution. I'm guessing Johnson might still be, Johnson or Lynn, would be more central. Other questions for me?
Anything else?
No.
Okay, sounds like you answered what we needed to know.
All right, thank you. And Julie, Cameron, my assistant, I know it's confusing with the two Julies, is the one who sent the invitation. So, if you choose to sign that resolution, then that would just go back to Julie. Then the due date for that is October 31st.
Okay, it's next on our agenda.
All right, would you like me to hang on for that or go ahead and hop off?
You can stick around if you'd like.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item number 10 is discussion and action on resolution 202544, the amended A2080 agreement for Eastern Iowa Disability Alliance. I guess based on what I heard, I would just look for a motion for approval.
I would make a motion to approve resolution 202.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed learning more about your county and meeting you again.
Okay, we'll get it over to you. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
The little tab. That's yours.
And now Chase is online.
Yep, we're on item 11, Chase Watkins, doing a presentation to the sheriff's office on a mobile app. Chase, welcome.
There we go. Hey, good morning. Can everybody hear and see me okay?
Yep, we hear you.
Good deal. Hey, I'm Chase Watkins. I'm a regional director here at the Sheriff app. I've also got retired Sheriff Mike Branham on the call with me as well. I'm going to see if I can share my screen here. Is everybody in the room pretty familiar with the Sheriff app, or is this the first time you're hearing about it?
I would say most people are unaware of the app.
Okay. Well, I'll kind of give everybody a brief overview, kind of go over what we'd be looking at doing for the Louisa County Sheriff's app. I'll try to make that quick just so that we have time for questions. But the way the company's set up, our parent company is OCB LLC, and then we've got these 5 brands that you see underneath. So we serve sheriff offices, police, fire, public health, and emergency management agencies. Our bread and butter is building mobile apps for government agencies in general. I would say the majority of our business is on the sheriff side. We serve a little over 1,200 clients nationwide. Around 25 to 30 sheriffs in Iowa have the app. I took a screenshot of our client map. If you guys can see my screen, just so that you can see what sheriffs kind of close to your county utilize the app. And in just a little bit, I'll share my phone screen and we can look at some of these surrounding county apps. But Muscatine County Sheriff's Office, they have an app with us. Washington County, Henry County, Lee County, and also Van Buren County. And if anybody has any questions kind of throughout this presentation, feel free to interrupt me. One of the biggest selling points, features of the app is that ability to send push notifications. So, say you've got 50% of your population that has this app downloaded, and you've got public information that you need to get out to them, like a missing person, a traffic accident, anything that you would currently put on Facebook. You're able to send that push notification to the app, and everybody's phone is going to go ding when you send out that push notification. Our control panel also links to Facebook, X, and your website, so that when you send those push notifications out to the app, that notification is going to automatically send out to all of your other ways of communicating. So that's going to reduce the duplication of effort for the sheriff or whoever in his office is sending out these notifications. just for time's sake, I'm gonna skip this video, but I can send the testimonial video to you guys later if you would like. This next slide is just kind of a visual so that you can see what the app would look like. So the way it would work is your citizens would go to the App Store, they would type in Louisa County Sheriff, they would download this app, and it's super user friendly. There's 9 buttons on the front, and then there's a more button. What I'm going to do is I'm going to swap my screen over to my phone screen just so this can be more interactive and you guys can see exactly what the app would look like in real time. All right, is everybody able to see my phone screen?
Yeah.
All right, so I've got 3 apps pulled up here. I've got Sheriff Schneider, Washington County, Sheriff Hudson over in Van Buren, and then I've also got Sheriff Vandenberg in Lee County. So we'll just start with Lee County. Top left, Sheriff's Welcome. That gives the sheriff an opportunity to kind of write a welcome message to the app. I'm going to jump over to Washington County to demo the submit a tip, but this is going to be a pretty big feature for you guys. Your citizens will have the option in the app to submit anonymous tips to you. If they want to include their name, email, and phone number, they can, but that's completely up to them. They could enter incident information, include their current location, and then one cool feature, since this is on a phone in an app, they can also take a photo. So if they're in a certain area of town, they want to submit a tip to the sheriff's office, and they also want to include a photo, they can actually click take photo, and they can attach a photo onto that tip submission as well. So I would say that's a big feature in the app. In Washington County, Sheriff Schneider paid out of opioid funds for the app. So we've also got an opioid and addiction resources button. So links to find medication drop boxes nearby. I won't wait on all these to load, but find Narcan nearby. He's got community resources. These are all local to Washington County. Mental health treatment, drug, alcohol services, etc. Those are peer support, phone numbers, links to websites, etc. This feature can be, you guys can give us local resources, but we've also got kind of a curated list of national and state resources that we can link as well. Links to Call Your Life Iowa, Text Your Life Iowa, chat, stuff like that. Just moving on to jail information. Oh, was there a question?
No, don't recall. It's okay.
As far as jail information, so this is like visitation times and rules, links to put money on commissary accounts, links to video visitation if you've got that. That's what would be under jail visit or jail information. And when I'm talking about all this, the app is completely customizable. So what I'm showing you here, your app doesn't have to have the exact amount of buttons. I'll pop over to Van Buren in a second and show you how the EMA and Safe Coalition are involved in that app. A really cool feature in this app is the inmate search integration. So we'll integrate with your jail management system. This is all automated, so the sheriff's office is not going to be uploading inmates manually every time someone's booked into the Louisa County Jail. So here, it's a nice interface, easy to understand. If you click on one of these inmates, you're going to be able to see information, charges, etc. So hopefully this would reduce calls to the jail sheriff's office. The media or whoever else can just go straight to the app to get that information. So that would be an integration with either Vine, victim notifications, or your jail management system. We've also got a integration with the Iowa Sex Offender Registry. Honestly, I think this is a really cool feature, but it'll zoom down to your current location. We're here in the Muscatine County Sheriff app, but if I zoom down here, say this is your house right over here. You can click on a pin and you can see what sex offenders live around you. It's going to show their face, their offense details, and then a button to go directly to the iowasexoffender.gov website. So those are kind of the 2 features. We also have an integration with the National Weather Service. You'll see at the top of Lee County, it's saying right now that there actually is an NWS alert active, special weather statement. But for instance, if there's a tornado warning or a tornado watch, your app's going to ding and notify your citizens if there's weather information, flood information, tornado information, and then the sheriff's office can control what type of alerts go out, and there's different levels of severity there. Just popping over to, let's see, I'll stay on Lee County for a second. They also upload sheriff cells to the app. So we've got a whole back-end control panel where the sheriff's office can upload, add, remove information. One they chose to do is sheriff cells. Over in Van Buren County, the EMA wanted to be involved as well. So that's something we could do for you guys. That would not be an extra cost, but things like an emergency plan, reporting storm damage directly on the app that would go to the EMA, preparedness materials, turn on off weather alerts, etc. So before I get back over to the presentation, does anybody have any questions for me while I've got these apps pulled up?
Yeah, I also talked to the sheriff about this earlier, and he said there's also an app in there that would notify people if a domestic assault victim and someone got out of jail. They would alert them if they got out of jail. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we've got an exclusive. I'm going to pull up Wayne County Sheriff's Office in Iowa. But we do have an exclusive partnership with Vine Victim Notifications. We're the only app developer in the world that can do this direct integration. I'll show you what it's going to look like, but there's multiple ways we can pull in your inmates to the app if we do choose to do the Vine integration. This is how it would look. Your citizens would click on one of these inmates. It's going to say powered by Vine. They can then click notify me of status change, and they can sign up for email, phone, and text notifications. So when that person gets out of jail or they go to a new jail, that person's going to receive a text message, a phone call, or an email on that person's status. So thanks. I'm glad you mentioned that.
That's a powerful tool for some people, I think.
Yeah, and you can also select your notification language. So it's going to be defaulted to English, but you can choose any language that you want to get those notifications in. Any other questions?
Doesn't sound like it.
All righty. Well, let me I'm almost done here. Let me just jump back over and make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, are we back to the, can everybody see the presentation again?
Yep.
All right, so just real quick, we already went over kind of this in the live demo, but this is just going over our integration with Iowa Sex Offender Registry. I wanted to show you, just since Muscatine County is close to you, just so that you can get an idea of how successful this app can be if you market it and you use it to its fullest potential. Muscatine County, they've got 43,000 citizens. They've had the app for I think a year and 3 months now. They've been able to get 17,000. I pulled these download numbers this morning, but they've got 17,880 downloads on the app. So they're getting close to, at least a third of their population has this app downloaded. They're getting 424,000 interactions on the app per week. So that means the app is being tapped on 424,000 times. So it's pretty powerful when you think about it. With Facebook, you're sending a notification out and you're hoping that somebody opens up their Facebook app and that the algorithm puts the sheriff's post at the top. With this app in Muscatine County, Sheriff Reese can hit one button and instantly 17,880 phones are dinged with that notification. So wanted to show you these download numbers just so that you could see, what could be possible with the app. I'm not going to bore you with a lot of this just because we've already done demos with the sheriff's office, but kind of in short, there's a whole back-end control panel. The sheriff's office is going to be able to have as many of their staff members as they want that will have access to the control panel. They'll be able to edit the app, edit content all on their own. So they're not going to have to come to us every time they have a question or need something. Last thing here is the marketing kit. We're also going to help you market the app as well. Press releases, cards that you can hand out. Really, the best way to get your citizens to download this app is to say, hey, scan a QR code. If you put a promotional material on Facebook, we've got smart links that say, hey, click this link to download our app. So we're also going to help you market the app as well. Last thing here, we do have a partnership with the Iowa Sheriff's Association. So 10% of all app, what you pay for the app, 10% of that is going to go back to the Iowa Sheriff's Association. on the upfront cost, and then they're also going to get an annual on your annual support and maintenance. They're going to get a 10% of that as well. So that's all I've got. Any additional questions for me or anything else that you want me to go over?
The only question I have is, based on funding, it looks like this is a 7-year contract.
Yep. So the sheriff had requested that it be a 7-year contract where 7 years are paid for upfront. So you wouldn't owe your annual support and maintenance until 8 years down the road.
Multi-year, looks like an upfront payment of $35,000 and some change, which we're getting from opioid. I don't anticipate opioid, Brandon, lasting forever. How are we gonna pay for this?
So some
Ongoing.
some of the two add-ons here, the sex offender add-on and the inmate search add-on. We're gonna use forfeiture funds and commissary funds. Commissary funds is, monies made by the selling of things in the jail. Text messages, food, other items. I think you are gonna be seeing a lot more opioid funds due to settlements and lawsuits happening. I think it's going to continue to come in for quite a long time, actually.
So is this 35,000 every year? The next 7 years?
No, this is
One-time cost?
This is a one-time cost, and it's way cheaper to do. Chase, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's way cheaper to do a big upfront payment at 20% savings than to do every year if I look at
For
it.
sure, yeah, and that would keep it. If our company does go up in cost on the annual, since you've already paid it for 7 years, you wouldn't have to worry about increases. But yeah, the one-time cost is the $35,883.75. That annual support and maintenance. So the price, like after 7 years, when your annual does come up in 8 years, the price would be $4,270. So yeah, that big chunk is really just that upfront cost to pay for the 7 years.
I think that's what the board was worried about, is that this was a yearly cost and that we would have to figure out the funds every year. So that helped Kevin a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just didn't want it to become something that was an
Yeah.
unbudgeted cost.
No, I think we'll easily be able to cover it in the future, and I do think there's more lawsuits being settled, and I think we just received a lot more money too. I don't know what the balance is. It's got to be several hundred thousand.
Something,
Okay.
I don't know the exact number.
But if we pay this 35,000 up front, then that covers us for the 7 years.
Yeah, and then after that, you're just paying for the annual maintenance subscription. The app's already created, everything's created. You're just paying for the maintenance and everything past that. So it's
Starting year 8.
starting year 8 now.
Any other questions?
We will, if approval, we will utilize every single feature on there because this is pretty extraordinary app.
I'd like to
And
see
EMA in there too, yeah.
Yep.
Road closures, weather, we'll integrate it all because it's easier for us to make one notification and have this app send it out to everybody instead of everywhere, Facebook, news releases. So make it a lot easier on us too.
Chase, you did a good job.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Any other questions you guys have?
I do.
Don't think so.
I have one. Is there a place for comments on the app?
There's not. So I would say a lot of sheriffs would for sure say that's a good thing, right? Because when people make comments on Facebook, they're usually not nice comments.
Yeah.
So there is you could have like a form on the app if you wanted like a comment form, but it wouldn't be shown publicly. You would just click on, comments or complaints, and you could send in a form where then the sheriff would receive an email with that question. But it definitely wouldn't be anything that would be shown publicly on the app.
Okay, Chase, it's next on our agenda, so we'll move along.
All right, perfect. Thank you for everybody's time.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, gentlemen, let's go to item number 12, discussion and possible action to approve the use of opioid funds for the purchase of a mobile app development. And I have that multi-year contract here in front of me. 7-year contract, upfront payment of $35,833.75. you're interested, I would look for a motion. If you want to talk about it, we can talk about it.
I would make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion?
I mean, I'm seeing this falls under the guidelines.
For opioid and.
We had to split that off, that's one, the sex offender section, the inmate, we're gonna have to pay for that out of the commissary fund. And then this is being used, we can use this for the opioid funds. We can add on whatever we want to add on for free, so. We did work with Parsons on this and the Attorney General's office to make sure that we can do this correctly.
So the whole 35,000 is not coming out of the opioid money?
No, that's all opioid money.
Oh, okay.
There's a couple other $1,000 that we're gonna spend on, it's just a sex offender section. Inmate search, we already have Vine, what he talked about, inmate release system, and we had Shield integration too, so we already had that stuff already.
Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. I don't see any signatures on this problem.
I had to do it electronically, so you have to authorize me to do it, I think.
Unless she has the notes, so.
Yeah, it's not anything to sign,
Would
so.
like this guy be on there?
Yep.
You'd have him on.
Okay. I'd be interested to see how all works out.
It should be
Yeah.
developed pretty quickly here, months, and we'll get it going.
Interesting. Okay. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you.
Item number 13 is opening LP fuel bids. It's like I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I'll let you open. Yeah. You got a technical version. You got a letter open. I got a letter opener. Make you feel important. Earn your pay for the day.
And they were paid now. Let's see. First one is from Blue Flame. Price per gallon for 2 transports of approximately 18,400 is $1.16 per gallon.
Okay.
So this would require a 25% down payment of 4,500 to hold these prices. Second is LP Agriland. Transport load contract of $1.04.5 per gallon.
$1.04.5.
The way I'm reading it. Yeah, 1.045.
Yeah.
Farmers elevated and exchange. $1.10 per gallon.
Okay.
And Rafe. $1.06.32 per gallon.
The winner is.
So the low bid would be Agriland, and then,
$1.04.5.
yeah,
Without too many restrictions. I mean, realize we're gonna get 2 loads.
right. Said time frame for this contract is September 15th, 2025 through August 31st, 2026. Typically around 2 loads.
And then over to Scott. I didn't look at it over Right.
You need those back in the envelopes again.
No, I just need the bid. Vote.
When we're done, you're gonna write read some.
Okay.
No problem, I forgot. It's okay. You concur?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then I'd look for a motion first. For the show.
Now make a motion that we accept the farm service bid for $1.04.
Everyone, yeah.
4.5 cents.
Also,
Good. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Item number 14 is the metal and glass device permit for Petro and more. That is for vaping stuff.
What?
Vaping,
Oh.
vaping. The new way of smoking.
Shirts or other stuff too,
Yeah.
but don't have any reason to decline it when the state makes 60% of the dollars off of it. That's probably why it's
It's
there.
all about money, yeah.
we have no reason to
Not to approve it,
not to.
at this point.
Okay.
Down the road, there might be a reason, but right now we don't.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll make a motion to approve.
No second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item number 15 is discussion and interaction on sick/vacation time. I think we've kind of talked about this earlier this spring. We had a employee that wanted to move some of his vacation time over to another employee. At that time, we denied moving sick time, but we were kind of talking about vacation time, and it ended up being this huge thing that I didn't think was gonna be a problem, but turned out to be kind of a little bit of a deal. However, we have an individual in the county that is trying to take care of their ill adult child. And in the past, I have that previous boards have done this. Back in March 15th of 2022, Katie Hammond Conservation spoke to the board about the possibility of some of her department donating sick leave to a coworker. Coworker has a child that has been diagnosed with critical illness requiring surgery. The board stated in the past it has been done on a case-by-case basis, and they approved it. And then in April 7th of 15, Greg Johnson at the time spoke to the board about donating excess sick time to employees. The board agreed that it was good for morale, but would have to okay it on a case-by-case basis. So, the last time I brought this up, everybody kind of cringed about donating sick time, but they weren't upset necessarily about donating vacation time. I'm just giving you the information so you can make some sort of a decision. I think there is some need. I just don't know how you guys want to handle that at this point.
Well, there's really two ways to look at the sick leave. One is that employees can cash in their accumulated sick leave after they have 15 years employment, right?
I think they only get
Right, but they only get 33%.
33% of it, right?
And so if it was sick days that we were gonna pay out 33% on, and now we're gonna turn around and pay out 100% to an employee, that at the same time, the employee that has those sick days could use them at full face value anytime they wanted to.
But I think that they would have to use up all of theirs first, and then it would be if they, still needed, they can use that later. But
So I don't know how you wanna operate in sick leave.
I would be more apt to allow the vacation part of it, not necessarily sick time, but that again is my opinion.
That's where I lean towards too on.
The information that I have here. This individual used up all of her leave except for 1 week of vacation. It will be transferred 1 day from each employee on a rotation basis with up to 150 hours to be donated 5 weeks.
That was the idea, I think. But that wasn't what happened.
Right. The thing is, and I know that in the past several years, it's been on a case by case basis. But I've seen other things happen within the county. This payout thing is one of them, that once it kind of gets started, it just kind of evolves and I'm not against it, but I think we need to set some rules and some boundaries and start going by those if we're gonna start doing it. Because if you start doing case by case, then my opinion, it's, well, you like this person more than this person, and you're gonna allow them to do this, but later on down the road, you're not gonna allow
I
it.
agree, whatever, regardless of what we do today, we need to get
Yeah,
maybe Paul.
'Cause it's gonna keep
and stuff
coming
and
up.
Get some kind of policy established on.
I agree. Be some sort of a cap placed on it, how much can be donated, what we're donating, I guess. That makes sense. So that the next board up here doesn't have to go through this again.
So I guess,
Yeah.
vacation.
Something permanent needs to be set up.
There's a couple of comments here. Joe Shaw, she says, in the past, occasionally approved to donate vacation, but not sick. Vacation is considered ours, sick is not, and Paul should be consulted. I agree.
I tend to be with you guys on, on vacation, yes.
Do we have, a board, department head meeting coming up?
And next month in October, yes. That's.
Does this action have to be done like quickly? Okay, so let me do this. Let me get with Paul. Let me get a basic outline together. I'll present it to the department heads at our next meeting, and then I'll give it back to the board to proof and. Is that okay?
Yeah,
We got some kind of an idea where we're going. You know,
yeah, that way we're not looking at this all the time.
get enough people looking at it that we can. And then we'll just put it in personnel handbook and. Be done with it. Fair? Yeah,
I did write one of these policies, not knowing that it was at your level before for the sheriff's office, and then I think the schools goes off of it's either called serious illness or catastrophic illness. And it sets criterias for the reasons, and it's justification, comp time, holiday time. But I think get rid of that first, like you said, because payouts can really add up.
Right.
And sick time really probably doesn't in the long run.
well, it needs to. It needs to talk, not necessarily immediate family. I mean, if you're taking care of your son or daughter, or grandmother, or grandfather, or father, daughter, whatever. But there's a lot of adopted people, or I'm taking care of my niece or my nephew, and yeah, it's a caregiver kind of a thing, so. I think it needs to encompass some of that.
I think
verbiage
dependent
somehow.
or temporary dependent.
Right,
Okay,
so
some
something
other
like that.
things.
Yeah,
So I can share that if you guys want it. If you want to use Paul, I can use Paul, whatever.
any information you can give me would be helpful. We can. Come up with something. That good?
Yeah. sounds
Okay,
good.
let's try to move forward that direction. The only other thing before we, I was supposed to read this in the public comment and I skipped over it. Kathy Vance isn't here. She asked me to read this on the update for the multi-purpose barn. Kathy Jolly Vance update on the multi-purpose barn at the Louisa County Fairgrounds. Got the A on Louisa. It's Lewis. First, the DNR floodplain permit is underway. Secondly, they received a $364,000 community attraction and tourism grant from the Iowa Economic Development Authority on Friday. This brings them within $55,000 of their fundraising goal for the building, valued at $1,212,000. Thanks for your support on the project. The board was impressed with our persistence and the board's support we have received financially. We could not have done it without the support of the board of supervisors. Cool. Okay, before I ask for adjournment, anybody want to address the board?
I would like to
Sure, go ahead.
publicly acknowledge Jacob's.
Good job, Jake.
That is important in case you don't.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Yeah.
I've told Jacob before, I think he's doing a great job, so.
Okay.
And you are too, Brandon.
Thank you.
No, we can't feel left out. I look for a motion for adjournment.
So,
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're done.
Randy will add that boy to the app.
just remember that when you call me over.